morning, everyone. Welcome back to another exciting day in mathematics. Warm-up 99 is on the screen. Let's get started, please. So number one, y equals 2x plus 6 is right here. And we're working on f of x equals x cubed. Pass someone, Anthony D, since everybody's very talkative today. Woo-wee. Close. 5 down, that is correct. How does she know that? Well, look at it. Does it have a parentheses, guys? No, so that means x doesn't have a parentheses, it has a cubic, and outside of the cubic power, there's a -5 that counts as our k. So that means that's going down. So we take that entire function down 5 steps, so it's going to be somewhere around right here at -5. All right, not bad, not bad. We need the factors for 3a, factors for 3a. Pass someone, Claire. Bless you. Who? Who? Oh, Bailey, go. What you get? X plus 10, x plus 3. Hands if you got that. That is correct. And now we got 3b. What you get for 3b? Share with your neighbor, and Bailey's going to pass someone. 3b. All right. Bailey, pass someone. Who? Jay, what'd you get? What is it? 5x plus 2. X plus 3. Hands if you got that. Looks about right. Woo. All right. Synthetic division. Show your neighbor, see what they got. So like that, Jay's going to pass it to someone. 6x squared plus 2x minus 12. And we got divided by x plus 2. The setup should look like this. 6, 2, and -12. And then the rest is history. So, Jay, pass someone. Brandon. Felix. What'd you get? Let's double check. We got 6, -12, that's -10, that's 20, left over 8. Pretty close, except for this minus right here. Not bad, not bad. Oh, you said negative? Okay, okay, all right. Not bad from the corner. All right, this is x minus 10 plus 8 over x plus 2. And the last one, we need a solution for that system. Solution for that system. Share with your neighbor what you got, please. What is the solution for that system? All right, Brandon, Felix, pass someone. Danny, what'd you get? What is it? All right, so look up, please. I showed you a different method of doing these, which we're going to get to tomorrow. This is by substitution, which we're going to get to in a little bit. We started last week, but here's the other method. It's called elimination or combination. What is y minus y? Y minus y is 0. 3x plus 1x is 9 plus 3, 12. So now we solve that equation. Divide by 4, x equals 3. Take that, substitute into any of the two equations. I'll take the top one. This is 3 parentheses for x plus y equals 9. We substitute the 3 in here, so this is 9 plus y equals 9 minus 9. Y equals to 0. And tell your neighbor what this means, please. What does this mean? Anyways, it means what? The intersecting points of what? Of both graphs. And you guys did the home play over the weekend, yeah? Odd numbers, is that correct? Yeah, get that in front of you. Show your neighbor what you did with that home play for the weekend. Woo! You're like, oh man, it's cute. I was focused on that home play after I went to do some stuff at the park. And agenda for today, warm-up number 99, systems of equations. We're still in the middle of that. Tonight's home play sheet numbers 5 through 10 only, 5 through 10. So we're revisiting today's, last week we started with substitution and graphing, but we just did one session and then we did practice on graphing. Today we're going to do practice on substitution, just a couple of them, but I think we got it, but just to revisit. And tomorrow we're going to get to the other method, which is elimination, okay? So, it's going to go pretty quick, so stay focused. Once again, warm-up number 99, systems of equations. Tonight's home play sheet, and numbers 5 through 10. 5 through 10. All right? Copy the code for your home play for tonight, and also for the presentation. C72BN. 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 All right? We good? Yes? All right. So, this was the home play from last time. You did the odds, and I said just focus on the graphing. Yes? On the graphing portion. All right? I'm not going to collect that, well, at least today. Tomorrow's home play is the same play sheet, but you're doing numbers 5 through 10, which is by substitution. That's why I want to get to that today, okay? So, get a Cornell note going, please. I'll give you some time. Our objective for today, I can solve systems of equation, linear, and quadratic, and today we're focusing on substitution only, okay? All right, I'll give you some time, set it up. Where were we at? So we talked about the 3 different ways of solving, graphing, substitution, and elimination. We're going to get to elimination tomorrow. But we started with these 2, but I noticed some of you, disturbance on the force, so I'm going to focus today on practice substitution. We did graphing, right? We got that. You got that down? Yes? Yes, Mr. Q. We talked about the different ways of solving quadratic equations. Pay attention to this one, though. As a matter of fact, get your phone up. Take a picture of that, please. These 5 different ways you need to keep in mind as you're working on solving systems via substitution, which is what we did last week. We're going to do today again. But you need to keep in mind these 5 different ways, because sometimes the equation that we end up with is not just a straight factoring or not straight just simple solving for x. You need to think about which of these 5 ways can I solve the quadratic equation aside from graphing. So we have factoring, quadratic formula, completing the square roots. Graphing we did already, we hammered that, so keep that in mind. All right, put your cell phones away. Well, just to remind your neighbor the definition of systems of equations without looking at your notes. And who went last? Was it Danny? Yeah? All right, you'll pass it to someone. All right, definition for systems. Definition for systems. Pass them on, Danny. Anthony D. Systems are. All right. Help them out. Rylan, let's go. Systems. Set of equations with the same variables. Yeah. And the set of equations has to be 2 or more equations. We got that. We covered this one. We talked about this one. We did this one. And then we got back, and I said, we're going to focus on graphing. So we did this one. You have the notes for that one, and that one, and so on and so forth. Today, though, I want to focus on substitution, and I'm going to go over the home play I left you last week. Remember this home play? which I know you guys already have it done. Thank you very much, and it's in your notes. I appreciate it. Copy number 1, please. We're going to do that via substitution. Number 1, substitution. Oh, sorry. Let me make some room here. Number 1 is y equals negative 3. I'm sorry. Y minus 3 equals x squared minus 2x, and 2x plus y equals 1. And once again, this method is substitution. And we started last week, and here we go one more time. So first things first, remind your neighbor the note I asked you guys to write here on the side when solving via substitution. Remind your neighbor, what is that note without looking at your notes? What is the one thing I asked you to remember when solving via substitution? Looks like Jay's got it. Brandon Dart, oh, he's not here. Brandon Felix has got it, all right. Rebecca's got it, all right. I see you, Rebecca. Of course, Trinity's got it. Emily P., what is that one note that we wrote on the side? That is correct. Damn, Emily P. from the corner. Solve for y. Write that down one more time. One of them has to be solved for y or solve for x. Now, solve for y was just for graphing. We got that done for graphing. For substitution, it's either solve for y or x. Solve for y or x. So look at these two. Look at the first equation. That means we can either leave x by itself or y by itself. Look at the second equation. We can leave x by itself or y by itself. So you need to make a decision. Let me pause the tunes in the back. First, pick an equation, and 2, pick the variable that you want to leave by itself. So look at it. Jacob, squared. Which equation do we want to use? The top one or the bottom one? It's the bottom one. And which variable would you like to leave by itself? Y. Okay, so that means what do we do here to leave y by itself, everyone? Minus 2x minus 2x. That is correct. So now we end up with our new equation, which is y equals negative 2x plus 1. We no longer use this one. What does that mean, Mr. Q? That means now we're going to substitute this equation into the other one. Instead of y, what do we write, everyone? Negative 2x plus 1. So let's use arrows to follow our process. Bring this equation down. And instead of y, I write what? Negative 2x plus 1. Then I bring down the minus 3 equals x squared minus 2x. Next, now that we have an equation here with only one variable, notice it's got an exponent of 2. That means it's a quadratic equation. To solve a quadratic equation, it needs to be equal to 0. It needs to be equal to what? 0. That means all this on this side, we need to send to the other side. But before we do, let's combine stuff. Can we combine stuff here on this side? Yes, Mr. Q. Negative 3 plus 1 is? Negative 2. Very good. Bring down the negative 2x equals to x squared minus 2x. And to leave this side equal to 0, that means I need to get rid of this. What do? I add 2x and add 2. Add 2x and add 2 to both sides. Now we end up with 0 equals x squared. What is negative 2x and 2x? 0. That leaves us with plus 2. So, that looks kind of funky, doesn't it? It's not a trinomial, but it is a quadratic equation. So let's think about the different ways that we can solve this. By graphing, we already did that. We don't want to do that. How about factoring? Can we factor anything here? Can we take the square root? No. How about quadratic formula? We can, but it's going to be a long process. What is another method that is easy to solve for x from here? Square root, that is correct. So, to square root, we need to leave x by itself. So what do, everyone? Minus 2 minus 2. We end up with negative 2 equals x squared. And our last step, we take the square root. Square root. This cancels this. We got x. And we're left with plus minus square root of negative 2. Now, without going any further, look up. Remind your neighbor what you're looking at right now. What are you looking at right now, right here? What is that? What does that mean? Let me zoom in for those of you that don't see it. For those of you that are following on YouTube, let me zoom in. All right, here goes. All right, show your neighbor, see what you see with that. Then we'll have Brandon enlighten us. Talk it over to your neighbor, what do you see? Looks like Maya A's got it. Very good, Maya. Looks like Jazzy's got it. I see you, Jazzy. All right. Bree's got it. All right. Yeah. So let's go with Brandon Darty. What do you see, Brandon Darty? It's a map. Let's go. How do you know that? He said it's imaginary. How do you know that? Yeah, whenever you have a negative inside of the square root, this is an imaginary number. That means we write this. Look up. No real solution. Why no real solution, everyone? Because it's what number? It's an imaginary number. That is correct. So whenever you end up with something like this, you stop right there. You don't need to go any further, and we're done. Same thing with the graphing. If you were to graph those two, check your home plate whenever you have a chance. The graphs do not intersect. Why? Because there's no solution. Ah. All right. Not bad. So once again, we started off by doing what? By substituting one equation into the other. From there, we left one side equal to 0. We needed to solve this quadratic equation. We couldn't, so we just stopped right there because there's no real solution. Okay? I'll just go to number 2. Copy number 2, please. We got y equals x squared plus 2x plus 7, and y minus 7 equals x. All right, so look at it. What do you guys notice? What was the first step? That we need to solve for y or for x. Talk it over your neighbor, let them know what do you notice? What do you notice? All right, what do you notice? Oh my goodness, technology. Ah. All right, Anthony D, what do you notice? He said both of them are already solved. The top one is solved for y, and the bottom one is solved for what? X. So now you need to make a decision. What do you want to substitute? You want to substitute in the first equation for x, or you want to substitute on the second equation for y? Jay, what do you want to do? In the first equation. So instead of having x here, what do we substitute in there, everyone? Y minus 7. That is correct. So draw an arrow. Bring this one down. Y equals, and also this x. So parentheses squared plus 2 parentheses plus 7. So we're going to be substituting in here for x and here for x. So I'm going to write y minus 7 and y minus 7. All right, so y equals, let's see, let's distribute this. We got, I'm going to use green, 2 times y and 2 times negative 7. So 2 times y is 2y. 2 times negative 7 is negative 14. Bring down the plus 7. However, this piece we need to expand. Is that correct? So let me write it here. Twice y minus 7 and y minus 7. All right. So let's see. Help me with this one. Jacob. Help me distribute this. All right, pretty good. Bring down the plus 2y, the minus 14, and plus 7. And let's simplify all that. Let's see what we get. We got y equals, we got y squared, negative 7y, and positive 2y. What is negative 7, negative 7? Negative 14 plus 2. Negative 12y. Thank you, Kimberly. And then we got 49 plus 7, that is 56. All right, we have a quadratic equation, so that means it needs to be equal to what, everyone? To 0, right? So let's send this y over here. Yes? Minus 14. Oh, I forgot the 14. My bad. I did that to see if you were paying attention. So 56 minus 14. Those of you on YouTube, it's a teaching strategy. 56 minus 14. 42. All right. Good eye, everyone. Good eye. 42. Now we can get that y out of the way. This one, by subtracting y to each side, we end up with 0 equals y squared minus 13y plus 42. Now this looks a little bit more familiar. It's a trinomial. What shall we do next? Tell your neighbor. Then Anthony's going to enlighten us. What do we do next? Anthony, B. Power Rangers, 42 and negative 13. What two numbers multiply to give me 42 that when you add them give us negative 13? Let's go through our process. 1 times 42, 2 times 21, 3 times 14. Yep. 14. 4 times 1, no. 5. 6 times 7. And then they repeat. So which one of those pairs, if you add them, yeah, 6 and 7. But they need to be what? Oh, negative 6 and negative 7. That is correct. So my factors are y minus 6 and y minus 7. All that equals to 0. So, tell your neighbor what to do from there. Anna's got it. Very good. Dom, go. What do I do? Yeah, set them equal to 0. Y minus 6 equal to 0. Y minus 7 equal to 0. And then we solve. Let's see. Plus 6 plus 6. Y equals 6. Plus 7 plus 7. Y equals 7. So, we're done solving the quadratic equation. However, let me zoom out. Look up. What did we start off with? A system. That means we need solutions, right? And coordinates. So what does that mean, Mr. Q? That means that underneath the y, you're going to open up a coordinate right here and right here. Y for this one is 6, and y for this one is 7. So that means what, guys? That we need to solve for what? For x. So that means we need to substitute those values into one of the two equations. Which one do you want to use? Which one? The second one? All right, so let's use red to bring that one down. Bring down the second equation. Let's write it twice. Y minus 7 equals x. Y minus 7 equals xj. And then for the first one, instead of y, we substitute what, everyone? 6. And for the second one, instead of y, we substitute 7. So, bring everything else down. Minus 7 equals x. Minus 7 equals x. And we solve. So, what is 6 minus 7? Negative 1 equals x. So that goes right, that goes right here. Negative 1. And this one, what is 7 minus 7? 0. And that goes right here. And these are my what? Solutions. And what does that mean? Remind your neighbor one more time. What does that mean? What does that mean? My goodness. Jacob, squared. Intersects. Oh my goodness. Intersects of what? Of both graphs. Where both graphs intersect, guys. Whenever you graph them, that's where they're going to intersect. Okay? So, let me go to the previous one. The previous one, we ended up with a binomial here. Look up. Right here. That's why we didn't use what? The Power Rangers. We did not use that because it doesn't work. It only works with a trinomial. So therefore, we solved for x by sending everything to the other side and did the square root. And we saw that it was a negative square root. That's why there's no real solutions. For this time, we decided to use the top one, but substitute into that one what the bottom one was, which is x. And then we just multiplied everything, combined everything, and set everything equal to 0. And then we started with our factoring portion. We solved, but we ended up with 2 y's. That means we needed to set up 2 coordinates and then solve for x. Okay? And that's pretty much the options that you're going to see as you do the work for substitution. So from 1 to 5, how comfortable are you with this so far? Substitution, 4 5s, 4 5s. Okay. All right. And let's go to the last one. The last one, number 3. Copy that one, please. Let me make some space here. Ooh. It's y minus 5 equals x minus 2 squared. And the bottom one is x plus 2y equals 6. So, what did we say the first step was? That we need to solve either for x or y. So look at it, pick an equation, and which one shall we solve for? Tell your neighbor. All right. Kimberly, which one? The bottom one? And solve for what? Oh, you're going to do the top one and solve for what? For y. So to solve this one for y, what do we do, guys? plus 5 plus 5. That is correct. So my new equation is y equals parentheses x minus 2 squared plus 5. So what does that mean, guys? That now we substitute this one into the second equation. Where? Right here where the y is at. So use an arrow. Bring that down. X plus 2, a big parentheses, equals to 6. So I rewrote this, but without the y. So what are we going to substitute in there? Parentheses x minus 2 squared plus 5. All right. Now there's a lot going on here, so we're going to take care of the parentheses first. So let's do this part first. Let's do parentheses x minus 2 plus 5. So let me zoom into that. my fridge. I told you guys that they dropped it, I think it was a couple of years ago, and now there's something loose in there, and when the compressor turns on, it just like makes a lot of noise. All right, here we go. Jacob, help us out. And bring down the 5. Let's combine stuff here. X squared. Negative and a negative is still a negative. That's negative 4x. What is 4 plus 5? That is 9. So that was what was inside of the parentheses. So let me leave that inside of the parentheses. And I'm going to bring down the x plus 2, and all that equals to x. All right? What do I do there? Tell your neighbor, what would be next? What would you think you do next? Looks like Laura's got it. Very good, Laura. I see you. Maya's got it. All right. What do we do next? Danny, what do we do next? Distribute. Yeah, what is 2 times x squared? That's 2x squared. 2 times negative 4, that's negative 8x. 2 times 9, that is 18. Bring down the equal, the 6, and the x over here. Okay. Not bad. Can we combine stuff? Yeah. 2x squared. What is x minus 8x? Negative 7x plus 18 equal to 6. Whew. Man. What do we do next, Selena? Need to minus 6. That is correct. Minus 6 minus 6. So we end up with 2x squared minus 7x plus 12 equals to 0. Woo-wee. This is a long one. All right. Last but not least, look at it. Power Rangers, what do you guys think? Let's try it. Tell your neighbor what number goes on top. What number goes on top? I heard 24. Yes, 2 times 12 is 24. And underneath we got negative 7. Oh. What 2 numbers multiply give me 24 that when you add them give us negative 7? Let's see. 1 times 24. 3 times 8. 4 times 6. And they repeat. Any of those? Let's see. Let's see. No? So factoring didn't work. We can't do square root because This one's a trinomial. We're not doing graphing because we're not doing graphing. So we're left with quadratic formula. X equals minus b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So, how do you know which one is which? Well, remember to write this down underneath each one of these. Ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. Therefore, a is 2, b is negative 7, and c is positive 12. So, x equals minus parentheses plus minus square root parentheses minus 4 parentheses parentheses over 2 parentheses. So b we said was negative 7. Oh, I forgot the squared right here. Squared. And then a was 2 and 2. And c is 12. All right. We're almost done. Here we go. X equals negative times a negative is a positive 7. 7 squared is 49. 12 times, my bad. Negative 4 times 2, that's negative 8 times 12, that's negative 96 over 4. And right here you're going to find out why we couldn't do the factoring portion, yeah? Here we go. X equals 7 plus minus square root. What is 49 minus 96? Negative 37 over 4. Let me stop right there. Tell your neighbor why I stopped right there. And what am I going to write next? Write it! Why did I stop right there? Because of the negative inside of the square root. What does that mean? Imaginary. That means there are no real solutions. That is correct. All right. I'm going to stop right there, guys. Those of you following along on YouTube, remember, go to the practice code that I handed out and do your practice tonight. All right? Just in case, it's getting close to Friday already. Anthony, let's go.